Conscious breathing is our theme this month. Conscious breathing is a wonderful thing that you can do for yourself. It brings me calmness, sometimes it brings me strength, and sometimes it just helps me bring my breathing back to normal. So there are a few different strategies that I use in my daily life to do with conscious breathing. And I use different breathing techniques for different situations, depending on what I'm trying to achieve. So I'll talk about a few of them and share them with you now. So Jenna was talking about doing some breathing during stressful situations when she was in an MRI. So certainly stressful situations are one reason to do some conscious breathing. Other situations are when you're just feeling short of breath. And so as an asthmatic, I do experience periodically some shortness of breath, and I know that that is due to air trapping. So air trapping means that there's some air in the lungs that gets trapped and you're not exhaling it fully. And this happens to people with asthma and COPD quite commonly. And so personally, my asthma is very well controlled, but if I'm doing something exertional like exercise for a period of time, I still notice a little bit that I am air trapping. And so the technique I use to stop that and to bring my breathing back to normal is pursed lip breathing. And Jenna mentioned pursed lip breathing as well. Pursed lip breathing is a pretty common breathing technique because it works. So you may have heard it before, you may have tried it before, but I do suggest that you learn how to do it so that if you do find yourself short of breath, you can do the pursed lip breathing. And the focus of pursed lip breathing is to extend the exhale. And we do that by making a little hole in our lips, like you're closing a little purse with a drawstring. So, and you exhale that way and breathe in through your nose. And so by exhaling that way, it creates a little bit of pressure, just a slight pressure. You don't have to force the exhale, it shouldn't be that tight. It's just a little bit of a hole to create a little subtle pressure in there, and that helps to keep those smaller airways open a little bit longer so that we can exhale the trapped air. And so I noticed that it totally works with me when I feel like I'm breathing a little bit high, and if I just take that time to fully exhale before my next breath, I can get rid of my shortness of breath. So pursed lip breathing, definitely one. We have a video on that. I'll put the link below. Other breathing techniques that I use, sometimes if I'm not short of breath, but I just want to bring the focus back to the moment, I like to use something called alternate nostril breathing. And this is a yoga breathing technique. That's where I learned it. And it really helps me to just focus on the here and now. I also find it's quite calming, and it just brings me back to the present. And so alternate nostril breathing. So basically you use your fingers to block one nostril at a time, and you switch it when you're on your inhale. So I'll kind of walk you through it now. If you're interested in trying it with me, please do. I'll demonstrate it at my breathing pace, but you should do it at your breathing pace. So in yoga, they often use the thumb and the pinky finger to block each side of the nostril, but you can use any finger that you want. That's not really the important part. The important part is that you're focusing on the breath and just switching sides, and it just feels great. So you block one nostril and you breathe in, then you hold your breath for a moment, just switch to the other side and exhale through your nose. Don't switch at the bottom. Inhale again. Hold the breath for a moment at the top while you switch, and exhale again through the nose. I'll just do a couple breaths like this. Follow along. Breathe in first. Hold at the top and switch, and exhale through the nose. And you just kind of relax, switching back and forth, switch at the top, and it really just makes you focus on the moment. There are other breathing techniques that I like to use. Sometimes if I'm looking for energy, I can use my breath to bring me energy. There is also another yoga breathing strategy called lion's breath. So a lion's breath is a funny one. I'm not really sure I want to demonstrate it on video, but I will force myself. So it's a pretty funny one, and you put on a funny face. Basically, take a breath in, and then you exhale through your mouth, and you stick out your tongue, and you look up. So it's like one of those lions. That's what I picture, those lion guardian statues. So I will show you one lion's breath, and you don't have to do the lion pose. So big breath in. So that's lion's breath, and I find it quite empowering, actually. Just like live it out like the world is your oyster. So if I have to do something like maybe making a video to go on YouTube, I might do a couple of lion's breaths, 2 or 3 lion's breaths before I do it, just to kind of get out the nerves and give me a little bit of empowerment there. So there are a lot of breathing techniques that can be used, and people living with chronic lung conditions will not be able to do all of the breathing techniques that something like yoga offers. So do use caution. If you come across a breathing technique and you're not sure it's for you, as long as it's gentle breathing, you could give it a go. And if after a couple of breaths it's not working out for you, then just let it go. There'll be something else that you might find really helpful. And sometimes just sitting and breathing and counting the breath is the thing that works. So this is called box breathing, and you just think of it like a box. So you're exhaled, and then you breathe in for a certain number, hold for a certain count, exhale for a certain count, and hold at the exhale. And so you can do it even sides, or maybe you shrink it into more of a rectangle where you slowly inhale, just a bit of a hold, and then slowly exhale with a bit of a hold. So what's the shape of your box breathing? Find what works for you. And often it's quite helpful to extend the exhale, because that is where we end up with a little bit of air trapping, which we want to get rid of. So sometimes just focusing on your breath and observing it can be another strategy. So just do the counting and see where your breath falls without forcing it to do anything different than it already is. Sometimes the act of paying attention to the breath might be all that you need. So I hope some of these breathing techniques help you out. Maybe give the lion's breath a go in the morning to kick off your day. Maybe you're doing alternate nostril breathing if you're just looking for some calmness, a little bit of de-stress and focus in the moment. And maybe if you're feeling short of breath, you're doing the pursed lip breathing. So do make the time this month to focus on your breath, find what works for you, and find different breathing strategies for different situations. Keep breathing easy.